it's only ISEC where you see a person from a different country coming and telling you about how his experience in India or in Chennai has been. And it's actually a great honor to have Frederick as the ACE coordinator for Chennai, because he's the person who makes sure that there are enough opportunities created in TCS and make sure the particular or the exact profile is matched. And Frederick, thanks a lot. And we are happy that you chose India for your internship. Next up, we have Mr. Rajan Sekri, sir. He's a parent of an ISEC, Krishan Dev Sekri. Krishan is doing his Vice President Finance term in ISEC Chennai right now. Sir is the proprietor of ARK Engineering Works and Additional Assistant Traffic Police Commissioner, Freemason, and has been involved in various social causes across the city, and also has been awarded by Rotary Club the award of For the Sake of Honor for providing free vaccination for hepatitis B to over 14,000 kids. And we are so happy to have you here. The reason why we wanted Sir to speak today is so that he can show us how a parent of an ISECer feels, because it's more like giving out their kid to an organization which you do not understand. So, sir, we are so glad to have you here. Thanks a lot.
Good evening. I must confess, most of the ISECers over here will be having their hearts in their mouth because they finally got a parent on stage to talk about the experiences that the parents have. And Frederick, your parents are not alone. This group of parents here, my wife and I have gone through the same experience. And Akshay and Narayan, you're not alone. Krishan also, my son Krishan also was rejected when he first applied for ISEC. So according to me, this room must be full of at least 50% of you ISECers must be rejects. But if you are rejects, then I wish every student in every college faces that rejection when he is 18 or 19 years of age. I can't imagine how I wanted Krishan to be at the age of 20. I can't imagine. But one thing I remember, very early in his life, I decided that when he turns 18, I will not assist him when he goes to apply for his driving license. This photograph of mine, which you see, would have been the easiest job in the world to make a phone call and the driving license would be waiting ready for this fellow. I refused to go with him. He went and, yes, you're right, he was rejected. Then he went again. And then his mother said, why don't you make a call? Why don't you go along with him? I said, no, it's not my job. If he has to make a particular design on the road or on the traffic signal, if he has to answer those questions, he must know those questions. His dad can't be there everywhere. And then the second time round, he got selected. He got his license. And then it came to be that because when he was a small boy, his passport was attached to his mother's passport. Now the passport has to be made in his name. I said, I refuse to help you in that. You are an internet-savvy generation. Please go right on. Check out what has to be done. And if you can do it, great. If you can't do it on the first attempt, it will only be a loss of some rupees. Try again. But I will not help you. I will, however, show you the way. In fact, today's generation shows us the way when it comes to working on the internet. Krishan went and got it done. Then it came to be get his name changed or his signature attached in his bank accounts. Very simple job. Very simple job for all of us. But this generation surprised me there also. He went to the banks. He had accounts in 3 banks. He went and got it changed himself. And then one fine day, he went for an interview to Loyola College. Having done exceptionally well in school, getting into Loyola College was a breeze. Absolute waft in the park, a walk in the park for him. And then this information came to me only yesterday, that way back in 1950, a very pioneering gentleman by the name of Dr. Chandran Devanesan, an awardee, a Padma Shri awardee, pioneered the thought that college-going students pursuing graduate courses should not be given their graduate degree unless they take part in some socially relevant co-curricular activity. Imagine, in 1950, and you say 1948 was the birth of ISEC globally. So in 1950, the seed was sown by the first Indian principal of the Madras Christian College, Dr. Chandran Devaresan, and I'm very proud to say that I am the chairman of his rural community college, which we have on the OMR. And Krishan was asked in his Loyola College application form, what form of activity would you like to take part in? I thought NCC would have been a very simple choice, or perhaps a Rotaract club, as people have mentioned, or perhaps some NSS duties. He came up with a very funny-looking name called ISEC. We first asked him, what is the expansion of AIESEC? Tongue twisting, very difficult to understand. But then he said, "Nee, I'm going to go there." And there was a meeting in somebody's house, which absolutely baffled his mother and me. I said, if you're going to do some activity for a college, why do you have to go to somebody's house? He said, no, there's some group over there, they're going to talk to me. And I said, are you prepared for the interview? I'll go and see. He came back dejected, forlorn, looking as if he's lost all his cows. He said, what happened? They rejected me. I said, so now what? I'll apply again. And he applied. And I don't know why they selected him. And I'm glad they did. Because they wouldn't have got a better person. Because as somebody just said, at the age of 19, he was suddenly pitchforked into one particular committee, or you call that a local committee. And that was a Bala Kalakar coming up last year round. And he comes up and tells me, I'm in the finance committee for fundraising. I thought, oh, here he comes touching my pocket and asks me for a check. He said, no, I'm not supposed to ask money from known people. I said, who's going to give you the money? Are you going to stand at the friendly bus stop and look for people to give you dole? He said, no, Dad, I have to go to XY's jeweler. I've got to go to this car company. I've got to go to this place. I said, do you know those people? He said, I don't, but I'll find out. He went. He went to T Nagar, he went to Saidapet, he went to Gindi, he went to Mount Road. One thing he definitely did learn was all the various routes in the city of Chennai. Today, if I have to go somewhere, I ask Krishan Bhai, how does one go to this place? And he knows the answer. And he faced rejection, and there were people who laughed at him, but there were people who listened to him. And every person who refused him money for that Kalakar project, every single person helped him grow as an individual. And believe you me, the pleasure I had when I was a youngster, my parents, we didn't have ISEC at that time, or perhaps it was there, though may not be in our city at that time. I was brought into an organization called the Leo Club, which is the offshoot of the Lions International. So as small boys, we were taken to a place in Perambur called the Beatitude Social Welfare Center by the Lion Advisor. And a full, I'm telling you, full, I'm getting goose pimples as I tell you this. 40 years later, my son tells me that a group of interns has come from some countries and they are doing a project in a place in Perambur. I'm late. He was running a fever on that day. I'm late. Can you take us to that place in the car? He said, I'm not supposed to use your services, but I am now hard-pressed. Those are people from other countries. Will you take us? I said, where is this place? He did not know the exact location. But I had tears in my eyes when I reached the very same spot, Beatitude Social Welfare Center, where his father went as a small boy to do social service, and life turned a full circle when I dropped him off over there for him to do social service to those people. It's very difficult not to fall in love with ISECers. Very difficult. Once you get to know them. There are two things about ISECers that I still can't understand. One, how can they stay awake the whole night? And two, how do they forget to eat? I just can't understand. But if this generation has proved its mettle during this recent flooding of the city of Chennai, this generation, believe you me, Our generation has really muddled up things. This generation is better prepared, and ISEC is doing its job. So if there are any doubting Thomases sitting over there, any doubting parents sitting over there, my advice to you would be, doesn't matter. Because this gentleman called Akshay Nambiyar, he went to the UN about a week or 10 days back, and the first thing he did on coming back to Chennai in the middle of the night was to come to our house. You were sitting and we were dumbstruck, wondering. And this fellow with all his luggage and tags and all that, and added attraction, the jet lag, came all flat out because this event was going to take place. My generation would have said, "Ghoom ke aa gaye, had a good time, let's go and sleep." But he came and he burnt oil till about 1 o'clock and took an unheard of taxi in the night to reach his location. If this generation can show this dedication, if this generation can sing the way these children sang today, if this generation can make a difference to their own lives, believe me, this country is in good hands. Perhaps the world is in good hands. And I would recommend ISEC to every parent. Thank you very much for your patient hearing.